According to a report published by the Yemeni Journalist Syndicate, an affiliate of the International Federation of Journalists, or the IFJ, 21 media violations were documented in the third quarter of 2022. The International Federation of Journalists supports the Yemeni government and other armed parties in seeking the release of all imprisoned journalists and the cessation of the crackdown on media and journalists. The report focuses on events that occurred between July 1st and September 30th, 2022. During this time, the Yemeni chapter of the International Federation of Journalists has documented 21 cases of violations against media or journalists, including trials and interrogations, incarceration, and refusal to implement rulings. According to the report, the perpetrators of these violations are mostly the Houthi group with 52%, the principal government's opponent. Other attackers include the Yemeni government with 19% and the Southern Transitional Council with 19%. According to the YJS, 10 journalists are still arrested by the Houthi group in Sana'a, including 4 who have been condemned to death. The International Federation of Journalists has launched a campaign to exonerate them. Since April 2015, 4 others have disappeared. Ahmed Meher, a journalist, is still being detained by the Transitional Council soldiers in Aden. Al-Qaeda has been holding journalist Muhammad Qaid since 2015. The Houthi group, the Yemeni government, and the STC forces were each responsible for one of these detentions. According to YJS, the jailed journalists suffer in deplorable and inhumane circumstances and are denied the right to visitation, medical treatment, and care. The union also criticizes the legal system for exploiting its power to prosecute journalists. In its report, the YJS demands for the release of all kidnapped journalists, the cessation of attacks on unions, the investigation of all crimes against media workers, and the cessation of involving journalists in political discourse. The IFJ expressed their sadness over this report from the YJS about the unacceptable environment in which journalists and media professionals work in Yemen. The organization has renewed their call for the release of all detained colleagues, including those on the death row.